Blessings, good evening to you all. As usual, we'll begin with a short period of meditation. So please find a comfortable posture, either on the floor or on a chair. Close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, just to bring your attention inwards to your body and to the breathing as you're sitting here right now. The Buddha mentioned that there's three main factors that we have to prepare when we meditate, just to facilitate successful meditation and ease of meditation, ease of developing mindfulness on the breath. First of them is to find a quiet place. So ideally, when you come to meditate, if you're at home, you pick a quiet room in your home, in the best space available in your house, your home, your apartment. If you have a busy home with a lot of people doing different things, maybe all you can achieve is a quiet corner of one room. But if you meditate regularly, then maybe you designate either a room or the corner of a room as your meditation spot. And that will help when you come to meditate to just ease your mind into the meditation. You're in the right place for your meditation. You develop a certain perception around that area as your place of meditation. Of course, if you're able, then you could go to a monastery, temple, Buddhist center, or sometimes even go out into the countryside. But that may not be possible. So just picking the most suitable spot in your dwelling place, making that your place for meditation, is one factor that will help your mind to settle down into the meditation quickly. Of course, the quality of mindfulness that you're developing by putting attention on the in and out breath, you can develop that anywhere. You can be mindful in any posture, any place, any time. But when we meditate, we're training ourselves, we're practicing in mindfulness, so we want to make it easier for ourselves. So that's why putting some thought into where is the best place to practice meditation regularly will help. The second factor is what we call Kalyano Mitta, having good friends and teachers who give us the technique of meditation, the way to practice. Not only the method of the meditation, but also they can, because they've got more experience than us, they can give us guidance from time to time in our practice. They can answer questions, reassure us when we have doubts, explain things that we ourselves don't yet fully understand. Maybe they can explain them, and so on. Kalyano Mitta is an essential part of the Buddhist path. Having good friends, teachers, guides. Nowadays it's easier than before in a way because we've got technology, so even you can access Kalyano Mitta like we are right now. You can receive teachings online. But also sometimes from time to time meeting your Kalyano Mitta in person can be helpful. or meditating together with other meditators can be helpful, because we often try harder when we're with others, especially if we're with a teacher. But having a teacher, having other people who practice that we can refer to or spend time with, can reassure the mind again, can help the mind settle down into the meditation much more quickly, helps us to resolve doubts, uncertainty about the way to practice, and so on. The last important factor for supporting our meditation is to remove worry and anxiety about other things, unfinished business, for example. When you come to meditate, like right now, you've probably set aside this period of time for your meditation and to listen to the Dhamma. So making a plan like that, bringing the plan into your evening or whatever the time of day is for you when you're meditating, you set aside the time. You say, this is the time I'm going to meditate, and you're already prepared for that before you do your meditation. So you set aside other business. Then when you're meditating, if the thought comes up, perhaps I should do this other job, this other thing that needs doing, you've already set aside time for your meditation. So you can tell yourself, don't let it go. You don't have to worry about this other business now. The same with people. You let the people around you know that a certain time is your meditation time. So they're not going to bother you during that time. They're not going to expect you to be somewhere else, doing something else at that time. So you let everyone know. So it's like you make an agreement with yourself. This is my meditation time. It's not a time to do other activities. You make an agreement with the people around you. And nowadays we all have phones and computers, so you may even have to turn them off so that they're not bothering you. You don't get unexpected people calling you while you're meditating. These are basic steps you have to prepare for your successful meditation so that your mind can settle down easily and quickly on the breath. And it's worth reviewing these three factors from time to time if you meditate regularly. You remind yourself of the importance of the place where you meditate, teachers and Kalyana Mitta, and then removing distraction based on worries about unfinished business, work, other activities that may come up. So you can set everything aside when you come to meditate. Now your aim is to bring your attention to the in-breath and the out-breath. And to do that, if you take some deep breaths first, then you really feel the breath going into your body and the breath going out. And then pick a point that you're comfortable with. It could be the tip of your nostrils, for example. You find that place where you can observe the feeling of the breath going in, feeling of the breath as it goes out. And you don't have to control your breath and make it long or short. Allow your breath to be at its own pace. And you keep returning attention to this one point. So they say when your mindfulness of the breath is continuous, then you experience what we call one-pointedness of mind, or unification of mind. So that comes about as you keep putting attention on this one point, observing the breath go in and out. So if it's the tip of the nostrils, that's where your attention is aiming for. You're aiming to know the breath at that point. So every time your mind wanders away, thinking about tomorrow or yesterday, wondering what sounds you're hearing, concerned about aches and pains in your body, in whatever distracts you, as soon as you realize you've lost your mindfulness, then you return to this one point and let go of everything else. So you know why you're doing this, what the purpose is. You keep putting effort into returning your mindfulness to this one place, one point. And by repeatedly doing it, your mind gets used to letting go of everything else. And this is a mental exercise in bringing up, maintaining mindfulness, keeping the breath in mind, being mindful of the breath. When you maintain mindfulness and you know why you're doing it and what you're aiming for, your mind becomes much more steady. The breath becomes much more prominent in your awareness. You know the breath more than other things. It becomes important to you. Or you give value to the breath as a way to develop mindfulness. Normally, our mind is giving importance to other thoughts, feelings, memories, and we don't notice the breath, even though we're breathing all day, all night. Most of the time we don't even notice it. But the Buddha was encouraging us to take something very natural that we all have and turn it into something useful by making it the object of your meditation. And the result of putting effort into bringing up mindfulness directed to the breath is that your mindfulness becomes more continuous. And body and mind start to calm down, feel more tranquil, more at ease, as mindfulness is more continuous. The mind feels more at ease and its mindfulness is more steady, more continuous. But you also have to put up with your distractions. As you lose mindfulness, as you're meditating on the breath, you get lost in those plans and worries and thoughts about different stuff going on in your mind. And that action of bringing attention back to the present moment, to the breath, can be a little frustrating. And then we tend to form an opinion, a reaction at our own distracted state of mind. We can become irritated with ourselves, irritated with even other people who we're unwittingly blaming for our distraction. Maybe you're thinking about somebody who's bothering you or some business you have with someone else, and so that takes you away from the breath, and then you inadvertently start blaming them for your inability to be mindful of the breath. Which, when you look at it, is a bit funny because that person is not even in the room with you and not there. but you can still find yourself blaming them. Or we blame sounds. Sounds come up and they pull our attention away from the breath. We give more importance to the sound than we do to the breath. So then we say, I can't be mindful of the breath because of this sound. The sound is disturbing me. What's really happening is you're giving more importance to the sound than the breath, so you're going to disturb the sound. So you disturb sounds, you disturb thoughts, memories, different feelings and sensations in your body. Everything becomes a source of distraction. So we often will blame these different distractions as the problem, where really it's just a loss of mindfulness, because our mindfulness is not yet continuous or steady. So the quicker we realize we've lost our mindfulness and just set aside the distraction and come back to the breath, the better for us, and the better our meditation will progress. And we don't have to blame ourselves, we don't have to blame other people. We just notice or observe that the mind got lost in distraction for a while. And as soon as we wake up to that, and then we bring attention back to the breath. As easily as, simply as we can, without creating any more stress out of the situation. So we don't need to blame ourselves for being unmindful. Don't need to blame other people. Everything is just what it is. Sounds are just sounds. Thoughts are just thoughts. And when you realize that, then you can return to the breath and let go. That's what you're aiming for. So just continue practicing mindfulness of breathing for a little bit longer until you hear the bell.